at the minute.
Yep.
This past weekend, there's been a couple of clips going around from when we did a session on the Flagrant podcast while we were on our US tour. And there were a few jokes made that were incredibly inappropriate. One specific, bro.
Is it inappropriate? You know what I'm starting to realize? When you say something that other people feel is true, like what is inappropriate about it? If the same thing was said about another group of women, would it oh man, they finna call me an unk, man. They finna call me an unk, yo. If it ain't, yo, a hit dog gonna holler. Like, yo. It's a joke. It's a joke. But the nerve of this white man to think he could talk about the most unprotected group on the planet, the black woman, the nerve of this. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So I guess we can't talk about white women either, right? I can't make jokes about white women. I can't make jokes about Indian women, Chinese women. We just can't joke. The only people that I can talk. Okay, cool. Now that I know, let's continue.
One specifically pertaining to black women.
And this is the weakest part of it. To me, this is weaker than Ryan Clark in a lot of ways, because all this energy that you got, if you really felt that way, you should have addressed it right then and there in front of him. All this going on afterwards because a lot of your followers are women. See, to me, that's the Gavin Newsom. That's the, oh, well, let me just figure out, well, what are the people saying? Okay, all right, so then we'll address. Okay, cool. Oh, they didn't say anything, so we're not going to say anything. Oh, they had an issue? Okay, we'll address. It's corny. It's corny.
Women. Yep. And in the clip, Andrew was making a joke. I'm not even going to get into specifics. Making a frankly racist joke.
Yeah.
And we were
a racist joke. Really?
Laughing at it. And to give, there's first of all, before we get into like specifics or anything like that, obviously there's just literally no excuse. There is no excuse.
Agreed.
And fight or flight is a real thing. Like it is, yeah. Fight or flight is a real thing, and it's so not easy to say, but when you're in those situations, you look at it through a lens of like, bro, if it was me, I promise you I'll stand up, I'll kick them cameras down, I would smack homeboy in the face, I would say this, I'll do that. But when you're in there, you're in shock.
You're in shock. And
no, you're not in shock. No, you're not in shock. You want to know why you're not in shock? You're not in shock because if the cameras weren't there, you would be laughing right along with them, just like you were when the cameras were there. You're not in shock, bro. These are the pandering dudes that will say whatever, do whatever to appease certain types of women, knowing damn well they don't even believe what they're saying, bro. If you had a problem on the show, you should have addressed it on the show. Now it's racist. Now it's this. Now you talking all this fight or flight. Like, bro, fight or flight. Like you're on a podcast with a comedian. If you had an issue with it, be like, nah, bro, that ain't it, bro. That ain't it. You could have said something. The fact of the matter is that you would have, damn, that's a Joe Biden quote. The fact of the matter is, shout out to Uncle Joe. Shout out to Uncle Joe. They was betting on you getting up out of there. I just heard in that new book, that tell-all book, they were betting on Joe Biden getting out of there and getting Kamala in, preparing for my man Joe Biden to be out of there. Nah, Joe got a bunch more years. Yo, shout out to Uncle Joe. All right, let's get back to this. If they had an issue, they would have addressed it. They only have an issue because the people that watch them said they have an issue with. They have an issue with it. So they start pandering to the people. And in all actuality, it's a joke. Get over yourself. Humble yourself. It's a joke. Relax. You don't like it, so what? Don't laugh.
All you want to do is move on.
Okay, so following that podcast
All
that
you wanna
happened in
do is
July, it
move
took
on.
about 2 months for
Sounded
people
like
to
a
start
victim.
canceling these two Brits. So as mentioned earlier, their podcast is from the UK, and they have a deep following of black females, and basically their core audience wasn't too happy after they saw the clip making the rounds. The fact that these two were laughing and not sticking up for black women made the situation worse in the eyes of their fans. So Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, and Fred Taylor chimed in on the story on their Pivot podcast and listened to what RC and company had to say.
The first thing is, when you think about the two podcasters from the UK is we don't know if the black experience there is the same as the black experience for African Americans or black people that grew up in America. I'm sure to be on this media tour in the US and to sit with Andrew Schulz was a big thing for them. I don't care if it was a big thing. And in addressing Andrew Schulz, who I do think is funny, who sits with Charlemagne and has some of these discussions about the culture, I believe he got too comfortable. So I would like to explain some things to him. I want to explain to him the black experience, the black woman experience from my point of view.
This is what's the worst thing. These are the men that get celebrated in our society. These are the men that get celebrated in our society. I need y'all to bear with me. If you're watching the show right now, I need you to watch it until the end. I don't care if you got to leave, eventually come back and watch it until the end. Because what we're going to see in all these different exchanges, and when Andrew Schulz actually goes on their podcast, we're going to see the difference between an emotional, overly emotional, pandering person compared to somebody who's just being real.
It was watching my mother start from a bank teller and work her way up for decades to run her own collateral department, only to be mistreated when the bank was sold to another bank, and be so sick on Sunday that I finally had to say, hey, Mom, you're old enough to retire. It was to see her go to that same job, 8 to 5, to be treated anyway, that she had to be.
What are we talking about? Are we still talking about the fact that black women, they drive their men crazy to the point where a joke? And I would love to see the people that are very offended by this. I would love to talk to their boyfriends, significant others, husbands, partners. I would love to talk to them. I would love to talk. Where's the people that got super offended by this? Where's the people that got super offended by this? And then let's actually have a conversation about your interactions and how they come across, maybe a little aggression. Now we can sit here and say, we always say, I blame the men for everything because we're the leaders, right? So their aggression, if they are being more aggressive, I still think that the root cause of it is because they have felt in their mind that they've needed to be more aggressive to either protect themselves or to be successful in whatever area, or to maybe play a role that they wouldn't traditionally have to fit in maybe other cultures. So I'm still acknowledging that, but can we have a joke? Or is it only offensive because it's true? Or if it's not true, then just let it be a joke, right?
Treated because she only had a high school diploma, and then find ways to not only feed me but do homework with me and my brother, take us to practice because my dad worked 3 jobs.
Mom took me to practice.
Black woman experience that I had. Right. The second black woman experience I had is marrying a black woman and watching her sleep on my cot as doctors try to figure out why.
So if everything just goes off of personal experience, and I'm gonna jump on a podcast and call out this white man who's being disrespectful to black women just based on my personal experience, let me share with y'all my personal experience. My personal experience with black women, I ain't gonna do that.
Well, I'm 140 pounds and I'm a 30-year-old man who was 205 pounds a month.
Somebody got nervous.
Her telling me months after that she would just go in the bathroom and cry every night in the hospital because she didn't want me to worry about her because I was so sick, right? For her to hold my family together so I could be in the household with my children when I was doing things and I wasn't shit. That's the black woman experience. The black woman experience is black women caring so much about the nuclear black family, black women taking care of young black men to teach them how to be leaders, to teach them how to be strong, to teach them how to care about their God.
No, they can't do that. That's the problem. Address your pops, bro. Don't address Andrew Schulz. Address your baby father. Address that when it comes to these type of issues. This ain't an Andrew Schulz problem. You just mad because he calling out something that triggered you, obviously, or it probably didn't even really trigger you. It just triggered certain people maybe close to you, and it probably didn't even trigger them. You just saw it as an opportunity to be seen as a hero in the black community amongst black women because that's what you care about.
About their family, and it's about their communities, and to raise their young black women to be independent enough to take care of themselves, but to understand how to support a family, how to support a man, while also understanding how to get it on your own. That's the black woman experience that I know. The reason that black women are tough is because when you're mistreated in the way that black women are, if you're not tough, you just die off, you don't survive.
So you say all that to say that what he said was true, but you're just mad that he had the nerve to say it. I say all that to say the reason why black women are tough, and he used a careful word, right? The reason why I hear hard, I hear aggressive. We know what he's talking about. He's just validating it. Okay, cool. It's a joke. So the joke is true. It's not true. Like what's really the issue here?
That's the black woman experience. And the other piece of it is too, is something that I've learned, and I learned it from black women, is people feel so comfortable disrespecting them because we don't respect them publicly, right? White people for so long have used the excuse, why can't I say the N-word when you say that to yourselves or call yourself that or use that in your music, which is bullshit, right?
So what? Say it. I don't care. Say it. If something happens, if somebody responds and reacts, it is what it is. Yo, if somebody calls me the N-word, I'm willing to risk it all to crash out and get locked. Like, what, bro? Like, what are we talking about? This, God, man, people who can be easily emotionally controlled will always be manipulated, in my opinion. Like, you're always setting yourself up to be a victim of manipulation.
Right? Or white people have said, if you're using the B word, or they say, if you're using the B word, why can't I call them that?
Who has ever said, if you're using the B word, why can't I call you that? What white person told somebody black, well, if you call, that's like something that you, like your black boyfriend will say, if anything, like, yo, you calling your girls B's, and I'll call, like, what white person just says, like, yo, hey, black woman, I heard you on the phone on your break, on your lunch break, on FaceTime, calling your girls B's and stuff like that. I'm calling you a B. Like, bro, does this, and if this really does happen, then somebody let me know. But this, it just goes too far, bro. It just goes too far. Like, all of this is performative.
That's bullshit as well, right? That's excuses to be certain things and be disrespectful when you shouldn't be. So when you're sitting across from Andrew Schulz and he's talking about an experience that he can't understand because his wife is not black, you don't have the right to talk about that. You don't have the right to speak on something that you don't know.
Yo, I hope Trump gets on, and this is something that eventually when I'm running for president, they're going to clip this up right here. They're going to clip this part up right here. I hope that Trump gets on TV tomorrow and says, when we wrote this Constitution or Declaration, whatever, y'all were 3/5 human beings. Jasmine Crockett, she's black. She don't even got a right to speak on this. This ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Like, bro, you cannot speak on certain things. Now none of us can speak on anything. All right, well, I guess nobody could give their support for Palestine, Israel, Russia, Ukraine. You don't live there. You ain't out there. You ain't there. Unless you out there and living there. Or unless you're a part of that group, you don't know that experience. I guess we can't say anything. Like, we can't say anything about anybody. And matter of fact, nobody can talk about anybody else because nobody knows anybody else's experience. So don't judge me. If I commit a crime, I don't want to be held accountable because you can't judge me, Judge. You can't judge me. You don't know my experience. You don't. This is weird. This is weird. This is performative. This is overly emotional, and he's trying to trigger people. He's trying, like, bro, people want to be liked so bad. People want to be liked so bad.
Right? And to make a joke about what the experience is one thing if you're talking about haircuts and you're talking about clothing and you're talking about beards, or you're comparing what our friend Travis Kelce looked like when he was with Kayla Nicole to what he looks like now that he's with Taylor Swift, right? That is part of it. You start to assimilate to the people around you. What you're not going to do, though, is be disrespectful and say you have to develop a defense mechanism because of alleged violence.
He said you have to develop a defense mechanism because of violence. Yo, this is crazy. Andrew Schulz made a joke. What are you talking about? Them, they get a buzz cut because their hair been falling out. They've been pulling out their hair because a black woman keeps complaining about. This man just took that and went to a defense mechanism. Like, did he really just say that?
What I'm going to do, though, is be disrespectful and say you have to develop a defense mechanism because of alleged violence.
There's 2 more minutes.
Black women aren't violent. Black women
aren't violent. What did we say before? When we said, believe all this, all that.
Don't just walk around to beat people or to be angry or to be treated a certain way. No, black women, to me, were the entire front line of the Alton Sterling protests when he died, when he was killed by cops in Louisiana. Black women are on the front lines of everything that's about us. Black women understood that they had to take a back seat because as we were fighting for rights in our country, that we as men were going to be able to get through the door before they were. So they decided to push us forward and give.
I'm glad Maya clarified. So Schulz said, I forgot about it. Schulz said that he needed a beard because he was getting hit. So Ryan Clark takes that and says he had to develop a defense mechanism. Like, this is a joke. Like, are we? Yo, all black women are queens. I don't know what y'all talking about, but my personal experience, all black women are queens. They're the most amazing women. All of them. All of them. Bez said, same guy crying on ESPN because a Whataburger customer called his son an N-word. Get this man an Oscar ASAP. Oh my God. That's a whole nother clip. I don't even know if we played that clip on here. It's just too long. Bro, this man he's on a podcast with 2 other people, bro. Nobody else has gotten in a word like this. And this was an emergency pod that he put together. Like, I just can't wait until y'all get to the Andrew Schulz podcast. That when Andrew Schulz is on there, because Andrew Schulz, bro, you're going to see how calculated he is. He's like, damn, y'all just put together a single pod just to respond to this? Like, that seemed like a little clickbait. It's like you trying to
give us ideas and give us help and give us support and be our biggest cheerleaders because they knew we'll have an opportunity to get in the door first. The problem is so many times now we're getting in those doors and we aren't reaching back and bringing them through that same door with us. And this is just another example of that. So,
yo, you know what's so wild about all this? Sorry to interrupt the video. We got a new challenge. 20,000 by the end of April. We fell short in March, but we're going to get our goal this month. Thank you all in advance for those that are going to continue to like, subscribe, maybe even leave some comments and let us know how we're doing. And on that note, let me let y'all get back to the video and I'll see y'all soon. Oh, never mind. But I heard something where, and I got to get the stats, but let me keep going.
Whoever is Andrew Schultz's black friend, Charlemagne, you're his black friend. Sit him down, talk to him, tell him what the black woman experience truly is, because he ain't married to one, and he's obviously never been around enough of them to know how strong, how beautiful, how independent they could be while also being supportive, how much black women have done to create this entire world that we all live in and the way that they've poured in it. I'd rather be upset, but I know if I'm upset and I'm loud, that just plays into the same angry black woman trope to the black man trope that he wants us to depict. And I refuse to give him that joy.
So this clip got about over 30,000 likes on Twitter, but a lot of people, black and white, went in on Ryan Clark, mainly because of the fact that
well, Ryan Clark has just said, we don't bring black women through the door. That's a conversation that I want to show y'all this clip, because I don't know if these numbers are true, but this is something, this so stereotypical stuff, like all this baiting and stuff, trying to trigger black women into getting upset and to supporting you. The way things seem, as if black men don't want to date black women, as if black men get rich and don't want to deal with black women. Black men don't want to deal with black women. Look at this clip. Look at this clip. I just thought about it as I was watching that.
What's the narrative that we hear about black men?
They don't get married.
No, they don't like who?
Oh, they don't like black women.
Well, yeah.
The national average for black men who are married, what are they married to?
It's got to be black women.
Black women at what percentage? Over 85%. But it don't matter though, because once they make money, that's when they go get white women.
White women, yeah.
The national average for making over $200,000, black men, right? How many of those men are married to black women?
I'll give him about a cool
95%.
95?
I believe it.
I do believe it. And then when you hear the horror stories, we got to talk about Scottie Pippen.
All right. That's the only point that I wanted to show y'all. Let's get into the actual show. We got 3 timestamps, all right? So y'all can always go back and watch the entire show. We just going to focus on 3 timestamps from this interview. I promise y'all will enjoy this. Y'all will enjoy it. It'll be worth it.
Shall we? Hello.
I just had to get the whole walk in.
Gentlemen. Gentlemen.
The Cartier.
Yo, I don't know about y'all. I like reading body language. From the jump, Schulz walked in. Now, people would be like, yo, get off this man. Like, you on him hard. From the jump, Ryan Clark is uncomfortable. He's uncomfortable. I don't know about y'all. Schulz is chilling, commanding the room like, yeah, I'm in y'all spot. I'm here. Like, y'all asked me to come on the show before. I didn't. Then you said all the hate and stuff. So now I'm here. Now I'm here to address this little stuff that y'all been saying, all this little slick stuff. Now let's talk about it.
Shall we?
Did I amp it up?
Hello. Gentlemen.
Gentlemen. Cartier.
That's how you been the corner, bro. You're getting a Ryan Clark special right here. What's up, bro? How are you, my man? You're getting the official Ryan Clark special right here. No, it's not done yet. Hold on. It's not.
And very quickly, I got it. Hold on. Very quickly. Hold on. Very quickly. Real quick. So what made this interview happen? I got to just be very detailed with y'all. I'm sorry. I want to take y'all through the entire thing. The only thing that made this interview happen was right here, what you're getting ready to see. Hold on. This was on Shannon Sharp's podcast. So Andrew Schulz went on Shannon Sharp's podcast and he said this. This is very quick. It's just a short. So relax. Hold on. Let me make this full screen.
Clark took a.
Let me rewind this. Boom. All right. So just take a look at it.
Ryan Clark took a break from posting pictures of his outfits on Instagram to do a whole soliloquy.
Man, why you on RC, man?
Bro,
Did you have a conversation?
I love his Instagram.
You need to have a conversation. Ryan's a good dude, man.
No, I know. Everybody tells me he's a good dude. But he did that, and it just felt like it was all clout. And he tried to make it this big thing. And he's like, by the end of it, he's one of these guys that wants to say the N-word but doesn't. And I was like, what the is going on? Like, what are we even talking about?
Right.
The stories about those guys who insulted the black women.
Right.
And laughing at that joke. And then he kind of reframed it and then made it about me. And actually, this is the thing that's annoying about Ryan is I actually think that he's good. I think he's good at what he does. But I just thought that was really corny.
Right.
And it felt like it was just, I'm going to sandbag this dude for clout. Here's an opportunity for me to look virtuous. And I'm going to not even reach out to him. You can reach out to me. You've asked me to be on your show. Ryan.
You can reach out to me. You've asked me to be on your show. All right. Now let's go back to the conversation at hand. Let's go back. So,
My J's on to make sure I was ready.
Hold on. I came clean. I told you I was gonna come clean, and I come
No,
bearing
this is why he's
gifts.
dressed.
I'm not the only one that gets to wear the brooch
I got
today.
a CC.
We got the
Man,
CC. We got that Freddie T.
Ryan
right
Clark
there.
always
You
wears
get-
the big
you don't get
Chanel
any cuts.
joint.
You get all yours regularly. Thank you.
Hey, this is wild.
This is gonna be hard to button, guys. It took me a minute. I'm not gonna lie.
You clean though.
Okay,
You should wear it more. It gets easier
bro.
if you become.
You know what I
This
just
is-
found out?
What's that?
They got the Paul Smiths on Amazon for $15. Regular price $30.
Oh, that's
So we're gonna get to the first clip. Y'all enjoy. Y'all enjoy.
Like you are compassionate and you do try to understand people,
Right.
Right, and they paint you as a certain thing.
Right.
You feel, or you feel that they paint you as a certain thing.
yeah.
You're like, I'm not that, and that bothers me in some way.
Did you feel like I did that about you, or you did that about me?
No, I'm saying because you keep saying I painted you some way, which I didn't. Right, I didn't
You
say
didn't?
much about you.
I didn't say. I thought that your juxtaposition, meaning the fact that you're like, let me explain what the black woman experience is for me, made me feel. It's just a feeling. Like made me feel as if you thought that I didn't already know that.
Have you dated black women before?
Sure.
And in your dating black women, did black women beat you?
No, Ryan. I think you're missing the point here. Like, do you think that's what I think of black women? Maybe we should start there.
No.
Okay, so then.
Do you think that's what I think of black women? No. Well, if no, then why did you do the whole thing? Like, what if you don't think that's what I think about them? Then all of that stuff was too much, bro. It was too much. But listen to how he tries to save it now.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
Right there.
so he tried to save it.
The point
Look.
here, like, do you think that's what I think of black women? Maybe we should start there.
No.
Okay, so then.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, well, that's
what you
different
think
than
of
no.
black women, right? I don't
Yeah.
know because I don't know you. What I do know is
Right.
in that moment, in this small clip I saw of Andrew Schulz,
Yeah.
this is what he said. Now let me
Yes.
tell you what I didn't say,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I didn't say Andrew Schulz thinks that all black women are angry. I didn't say Andrew Schulz thinks that black women are abusive. I didn't say that Andrew Schulz is a racist.
You didn't say racist, but, well, I don't want to.
I never said that, right? And in my conversation,
it's
I
debatable.
spoke about the two men that were sitting with you, right? And here's what happens when you deal in the life that I deal in,
Yeah.
right? When I say something about unarmed black people getting killed, what do I get? Well, what about black crime in Chicago?
It's a red herring.
Right, it's a red herring.
It's used to distract and like kind of cut the legs out from your point. It's got to be very frustrating. And
Right.
you're
but my,
taking.
but my
yeah.
point about that was, right, when these guys are sitting with you
Mm-hmm.
and that is said to people, not you, to people who may see that and may see them sitting there, they'll go, well, Andrew Schulz made this
Yeah.
joke about black women, and there were two black men sitting across from him,
Yeah.
and in no way did they refute it. This must be true. I can go behave like he behaves.
Got you. So that's the concern, that you think that somebody would see that joke and then feel like it's okay to do that.
Yes.
Got it. So you felt you need to address it to thwart that so you could protect black women from experiencing that in the future.
Andrew too, man, it's like, as, you know, we talked about it, because I said, bro, I didn't even think it was gonna be this big. It's part of any healing process, right? You put peroxide on a wound to clean it out in hopes that it heals.
Yeah.
In the same way, whatever black women may have heard that.
Yo, Andrew Schulz is looking at him like, bro, like, I'm trying not to, like, this is just not a good look.
Yeah.
Who may have been affected by it, who may have felt cut down, who may have wished that those two black men defended them, whether it was a joke or not,
Yeah.
right? Whoever had that wound, just maybe they hear me and for once they was like, man, at least that dude stood up for us.
And then,
At least somebody who had that experience stood up for
yeah,
us.
that must have felt good for some people.
I didn't care to paint you in any way, which is why I didn't continue talking about you.
It doesn't really matter what your intention was. It matters how you make someone feel. That's what the whole issue is with the joke. Like, if you said, I didn't care to do this, I don't care about you, none of that f***ing matters. It didn't matter that I didn't care to hurt black women, I just wanted to make a joke. It hurt them. So it doesn't f***ing matter whether you cared to do something or not. What matters is you did something and it had that effect. So ironically, the thing that you're describing to me is the same position you put yourself in. So what I'm trying to tell you is people are going to react however they react, and they feel however they feel, and that's okay. Like, as a comedian, I accept that. I hope that people maybe learn more about me and they see that, like, I don't have bad intentions for people, and I make fun of everybody, because if I don't make fun of one group, then it becomes uncomfortable. Then it starts to become racist or sexist or whatever, you know? I hope that they learn that. But I understand as I get there, we're gonna have these little things that we stumble across, and, like, unfortunately, people's feelings are gonna be hurt, and it sucks. And if, like, anybody came up to me like, hey, that thing that you said, you know, I didn't know you were joking, it didn't feel like you were joking, it really hurt my feelings, I'd be like, dude, I'm sorry, I don't wanna hurt your feelings again. But if then they said to me, hey, don't you ever make jokes about that again, I go, I can't let you control what I make jokes about. I can hope and aspire to make them so that everybody laughs. But I don't think it's fair to, like, limit what we can joke about. I think one thing we often say is, like, you can only joke about the experiences you've had. But I don't know if that's true, because, like, we were laughing at Handyman when we were younger, right? He wasn't retarded. None of us are retarded. But we laugh at these things all the time. So you can't tell me White Chicks isn't a funny-ass movie.
It's hilarious.
They're not white women. Why are they allowed to make that joke? Because it's funny. We know it's well-intentioned. They're not trying to, like, hurt people's feelings. There might be some white women, they're like Karens, and they watch that movie and be like, how the f could you do that? That really hurt me. They're allowed to feel that way. We might disagree, but I'm not gonna remove their agency as comedians to be able to, like, do these things. So.
Interesting point. I wanna move on to, and I guess I'll just keep the convo going because the next one is just a minute away, so I'll just keep it going. Fred Taylor's going to get involved in the conversation and say some interesting things.
Naturally, sometimes people's feelings get hurt. And that's based on the experience they had. You have daughters, you have this wife that you love. You know, we have these situations in our life that we, like, really want. We have sensitivities to certain things, you know what I mean? Like, my dad has dementia. When I hear jokes about that, I probably think about my dad, and it's probably maybe a little less funny to me than somebody who doesn't have any connection to it. And there might be moments where it's, like, way funnier. You know, there's all these different things. So what I don't want to do is start going, like, you have to have lived that exact experience in order to talk on it. Because I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's good for comedy.
Yeah, I don't think it's good for comedy. I mean, it's not good in life, right? Because I haven't actually lived the black woman experience, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
Yeah.
so I wasn't trying to tell you that in any way. I think the thing that's true about what you said is, you know, you talk about intent impact. I talk to my kids about it all the time. I do know in it, my intent was, I had no intention on.
Gotta fast forward. I'm sorry. It's just too, yeah.
Like they say, well, I'm a comedian. I can say what I want. You know what I mean? So my question is this.
Yeah.
If you weren't a comedian, would you have felt comfortable saying the same thing, even with your experience?
No, that's
because I think earlier today I heard Chelsea Handler speak about her experiences with white men.
Yeah.
She can't keep or get a white man because they feel she's too much like them. She's more of a man, you know, like more masculinity or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what she said. She was like, I'm too tough for white men.
So what is she needs? What, a gay guy? Like what?
No, she ain't say that. But she says black men can handle her.
Yeah, I think she's kind of sneak calling y'all gay a little bit.
I don't think so.
Let me just tell y'all, let me break down what just happened. There's a lot of, this is a lot of egos. This is the battle of the egos. Fred tried to say something where it's like, yeah, Chelsea Handler, she said white men can't handle her. So she got to go to, you know, black man. Keep it, watch.
You know what I mean?
Watch.
That's a little crazy.
It goes back to black men being able to handle the black women.
There's
who
an assumption.
A lot of times are considered tough.
I think there's an assumption of masculinity with black.
Yeah, let's just be real. First off, this brings about an interesting conversation. I'm not going to take too long going on this tangent, but in some ways, I don't know if this is the opposite, but initially when I heard it, I'm like, well, maybe is it the opposite? Like, since when when you think about strong black women, and I'm going to just make an assumption here or just base it off of my experience, like Ryan Clark. When it comes to, I see a lot of strong black women that black men that strong black women that I talk to, that they say that black men do not want to deal with them because they're too strong, too aggressive, all these different things. And I see them, you know, I've probably seen it just a few times in my life, but, you know, I've seen it where they end up with white men. And like, I feel like I've had a lot of these conversations where I don't think that anybody's ever looking at those white men and saying, yeah, man, like that black woman, you know, she said she couldn't, you know, black men didn't want to deal with her, you know, because, you know, she's too masculine. Like these white men, they can handle me. It's really what Andrew Schulz is saying. Like what Andrew Schulz was implying, which is like, so Chelsea Handler said white men won't deal with her. So she needs somebody who's going to let her walk all over them. And you need a black man to do that. And because that's where my mind goes. I'm being totally honest. When I see a stronger, more aggressive black woman, just how Chelsea Handler is pretty much, based on what Fred's saying, is presenting herself as, going and dealing with a white guy. It's like you look at it like, yeah, that's because the white guy, that particular white guy, he gonna let her walk all over him. He gonna let her run the show. Like, haven't we seen a lot of this? I feel like I have a few friends and family members, without saying all this, like really? Like, we really want to go down that path? I don't know. But that, yeah, so I guess it's just kind of how you look at it. But I just never looked at not being accepted by the men in your race, meaning that you need somebody stronger. If anything, I've heard the stories where it's like, well, the men don't accept me within my race, so therefore I go to another race where they allow me to lead. They allow me to be who I don't want to lose y'all. Let's keep going. All right. So that was the main part of this. Then I'm getting maybe a couple more seconds of this, and then we're going to get into where I think Andrew Schulz checkmated all of them.
That there's maybe not with white men, as I sit here with my legs crossed and my pants almost at my knees.
All right, let me so to be clear, that was the majority of them talking about that issue. It was a little bit here and there, but nothing too crazy to where I felt like, all right, let me timestamp that. They were talking about something totally different for the next, let's say, 20 something minutes. Just talking regular, you know, here and there, not really addressing the things that he said. But then you're going to see in this clip where Fred Taylor brings it back up out of nowhere. So I want to be clear in saying that, because Andrew Schulz, it seemed like he had a joker on deck and they didn't know. And he didn't play it. And I don't know if he was always going to just save it for later, or if he said, you know what, I'm not even going to bring up this point. But listen to this exchange.
Like, my initial reaction is going, like, I'll tell you what my you want to know what my initial reaction is, which I think is kind of
hold on. I think Ski just brought up a point that I need to make sure that I'm focusing on. Not him being emotional, but love is love. Humans is human. It's not about color. It's about your energy. So even if I'm probably doing a bad job in feeding into this, just being totally honest with y'all, when I'm talking about the personal experience that I've seen, but I'm just addressing, I was more so trying to prove the point on ego, where it's just like, yo, they're just having an ego, where Fred just felt like he needed to say something to make black men appear a certain type of way and kind of take a shot at white men. That's what I kind of saw it as. But I just wanted to be clear, because all that energy that Fred is saying, when it comes to, oh yeah, well, if a woman is aggressive, then that's just because that man can't handle it. I do not want to handle no aggressive woman. How about you start telling people they don't need to be aggressive? How about we start creating that soft life that a lot of women like instead he's bragging about the fact that, yeah, you know, black men, we aggressive, we can handle it. You know what I mean? So therefore, that's why I brought it up. But yeah. Love is love. Yeah, Merz. Love is love. Love is love. All right, let's keep going.
But my initial reaction was, when I saw you guys talking about it, and I was like, okay, he wants to protect black women, and this is very important. And then I looked on every one of the episodes that you had to see if there was any guys on here that beat up black women. Mm-hmm. And there were. And I looked to see if you guys addressed it on the pod. And you didn't. Okay.
Whoa. 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 You're putting together emergency podcast to address Andrew Schulz in a conversation that he had that none of y'all were a part of. But when you got somebody on your show convicted of beating up a woman, y'all didn't address it. Don't have that energy towards the white man. Why didn't you have that energy? Well, I don't even know who they talking about on the show, so I can't say whether they white or black. Yeah, but don't have that energy towards him and not have it to whoever else was actually on your show. Right? You want to use your platform, Ryan Clark. I want to use my platform, you know, to defend the black women's experience, the black women that I know. Well, did you address the people on your platform that were convicted of beating up women? And I don't even know who Andrew Schulz is talking about, to be totally honest. Andrew Schulz just hit them with the checkmate right there. Listen to how they respond. Look at the face. You can see it like, yeah, did you address that? Let's play it back.
See if there was any very important. And then I looked on every one of the episodes that you had to see if there was any guys on here that beat up black women. Mm-hmm. And there were. And I looked to see if you guys addressed it on the pod. And you didn't.
Okay.
Now, I also saw you guys had the episode with DeAndre's mom talking about domestic violence. So I was like, okay, this is good and this is powerful, this is important. But
Yo, he's so slick for that. Because imagine, like, what he did was he just diffused something that they could have said. Like, I'm just observing like a game back and forth, right? Ego battle, whatever. What he did was something that they could have responded and said, well, we actually used our platform to bring, you know, this lady on here to talk about domestic. He pretty much said, well, I know you brought her on there, but let's get back to the point. You didn't address the guys that were beating up black women.
my knee-jerk reaction was, man, I get a whole section that's not even part of an episode, and these guys who we know have actually, like, for like a joke.
You saw Fred Taylor? See, keep in mind, Fred Taylor was the one that brought this up. He brought it back up out of nowhere. And then you're going to see him on the side. It's like, you know you done messed up now.
Action was, man, I get a whole section that's not even part of an episode. And these guys who we know have actually, like, for like a joke, and these guys who have actually like hurt black women and convicted, not allegations, because I don't go off of allegations, I go off of conviction. Everybody can get an allegation, it means nothing. And then these guys, they don't get anything. So in that moment, I was like, this feels like a clout play. It doesn't feel like the highest priority is protecting these women. So that was my initial reaction.
So I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
We have had people on this show that have been convicted for domestic violence that have pulled it out of the show.
That have pulled it out of the show.
That I have asked about it.
Oh, and then they're like, I don't want it on the show.
Yeah, and I do, because people.
How can they pull something out of your show, bro? Did you air the episode? Did you say, yo, if we take that out, we ain't airing the whole episode? Or did you allow it to be aired without showing those things? So you talking about what you did behind the scenes, irrelevant. If you really cared about defending black women, the most unprotected, then you would tell that person, nah, bro, a condition for you being on this show and for us airing this show that's going to help you branding wise, because clearly you wanted to keep certain things out that were going to tarnish your brand. So you want us to just only include the things that are going to help your brand, help your reputation. And we're going to leave that out at the expense of not calling out somebody that beat up black women.
Who come on our show voluntarily.
Of course.
I do ask those questions in respectful ways. Right, I'm not, hey man, you're a woman beater, but I will say, like, in one of the instances that was pulled, I said, look, you know, you were convicted of something that no man wants attached to his name.
Amen.
And they answered it. We talked to their people. I was like, man, the answer was good, like, and they pulled it out of the show. So we've had that.
So what did you ask them? You just said you were convicted of something that no man wants his name attached to. Did you address like, did you talk about the black women experience like you did with Andrew Schulz?
Happened. We also had an instance with one of our guests who was talking about sexual assault, and he talked about it in a way that almost said that, okay, how do we blame the women? And I addressed that as well.
Yeah.
So as far as
Yo, y'all should have saw what I did in practice. I know I didn't do it in the game, but I was killing in practice. I know nobody's ever seen it. Nobody will ever see it. But when I was out there by myself, when I was out at the park by myself, I hit 50 straight threes. But I forgot to record it. Knock it off, bruh. You're talking about all these things that you said that didn't air. That means it was more important for you to have the podcast and feature that person than it was to address these very important things that you say are so important to you. That you jumped out the window, pulled the gang together to have an emergency podcast to call out Andrew Schulz. Where's the same energy? See, this is what happens when you jump out the window with all that overly emotional Superman trying to save and just to try to look like favorably towards black. This is what you look like. You look very weak now when you get addressed. Nobody looking at this is looking at Ryan Clark in this interview saying like, yo, he's standing on business. It's Andrew Schulz who's looking real relaxed on your show while you're leaning up uptight. He's sitting back, giving a little grin because he knows he got y'all in a checkmate.
As for me, I try to.
And what's crazy is this is the type of man that women are going to celebrate this man. Oh, he stood up for black women against a white man talking about us, but he didn't have that same energy towards the man that was accused of beating up black women. Matter of fact, he put the show above his principles because when they said they didn't want that to be shown on the show, he still put up the episode. But then he want to talk about what he did behind the scenes or in certain things that got cut. Like, knock it off, bro. Knock it off.
Address it in every opportunity that I get a chance to with them. Yeah. I try to ask them questions in ways that
Andrew Schulz is giving him a pass. Look at how Andrew Schulz is sitting there.
So as far as for me, I try to address it in every opportunity that
Andrew Schulz is literally sitting there like, bro, I'm not even going to do you how I really could do you. We could really, if I was clout chasing how you were clout chasing, we could really create something here. I could create a moment that you may not want to, that you may decide to take out of this show. That's what he's really doing. He's giving him a pass, bro. A pass.
I get a chance to with them. I try to ask them questions in ways that they get to tell their side of the story. When they sit with us, I do not bash them over the head with it, condemn them, or judge them in the moment. I do try to have a conversation about it.
I don't judge them about beating up women in the moment, but I do try to have a convo off the show. Yo, it would be better to just say, yo, I was out of pocket, bro. I got caught up in the moment. I wanted to address it. I jumped out the window. I shouldn't have done that. Nothing wrong with that. This looks crazy.
We're all like hypocrites. Like nobody's perfect.
And Schulz is giving him, like Schulz is not even leaning in. He's giving him a pass.
You know what I mean? Like I've had people on the podcast, like I've had a president on the podcast. Like nobody's killed more people than a president. You know what I mean? Like anybody who sat down, if you sat down with Obama, hundreds of thousands of people are dead because of decisions.
All right. We're good here. We're good here. We're good here. Shout out to my little bro, Andrew, in the building. He said it sounds soft, not gonna lie. 53s. Oh, my young bro. My young bro. I know I owe you a call, too. I owe you a call, bro. So shout out to my yo. If y'all not following already, Andrew, leave your Instagram. This is my young boy. He been rocking with me. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me show y'all. This is, yo, hold on real quick because we getting ready to wrap up. But let me show y'all a little feel-good moment real quick. I don't even know if I can log in on my Facebook. I want to go back. I got to show y'all. I don't even know how to use Facebook. Hey, Andrew, I gotta show y'all. I got to show y'all something. Bear with me. Hold on. I promise y'all it'll be worth it. I promise y'all. Just bear with me. Bear with me. How do you look on Facebook at the photos that you've been tagged in or photos of you? All right, boom. All right, I want to show y'all something. I got to show y'all something. All right. It's coming. It's coming. Don't trip. Don't trip. Hold on. I gotta show y'all something. That means a lot to me. I'm scrolling. I can't just let y'all see every photo. So I would share the screen, but I'm looking for one photo in particular. Oh. Andrew, you know what I'm looking for. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Hold on. Bear with me. Matter of fact, I guess I'll have to show you on another show. But I wanted to show a clip of Andrew. He's like 5, 6. I don't know how old you were. Maybe like 7 years old. And he used to come to every single one of our games, everything. Like, this is my little bro for real. And dang, I wanted to show him some love, man. I gotta show my bro some love. All right, on the next show, man. On the next show. I thought I had. My apologies, bro. My apologies. I should have this photo. It's one of my favorite photos. I do not have it. And yeah. Dang, I really don't have this photo. All right, whatever. I'll show y'all on the next one. But this is my little bro, man. Andrew, put your everything. Yo, he used to come to every single practice. You know what? Nah. Andrew, we finding this photo. Andrew, do me a favor. Go on Facebook and message me that photo. You know what the photo I'm talking about. When I came to your practice and we chilling out there, I got to show y'all this. Hold on. Your photos. Maybe I'll put it in my photo album. Hold on. I'm going to find it. Don't trip. Hold on. I got to show y'all this. But and all this stuff, I guess while I'm looking for this photo, I'll kind of just talk to y'all a little bit. But all of this stuff, we got to remember, we can't be just getting emotionally triggered out here like this. We can't get emotionally triggered out here. Sometimes a joke is just a joke, and we got to leave it at that. When we start getting emotionally engaged and triggered and all this stuff, and we start trying to chase clout by standing up for certain things, you look very foolish. And Ryan Clark, just like he looked foolish on this show, and Andrew Schulz could have made him look like an even bigger fool. So I don't know how y'all feel about that. Yo, I'm over here. Hold up. I'm getting ready to share my screen with y'all. The reason why I'm sharing my screen with y'all, because I'm looking at all these photos. If y'all could only know the stuff that I used to post. Yeah. Matter of fact, hold on. Get rid of it. What am I doing? Hold on. Hide this real quick. And see, a lot of y'all just think this Uncle Tom role is pretty new. I'm just getting used to it. I'm still on my when you get hired for a job, you know, you got that first 60 days. I'm in that first 60 days right now. All right. Dang, I can't find it. But my little bro Andrew, he's a fighter now. I think Drew, if I saw one of your messages, I think you got a fight coming up here in Atlantic City. So, you know, I tried to come out to see him in Oklahoma a couple weeks ago. Damn, flight's like $2,000. But yeah, that's my little bro. So I was trying to scroll through just to show y'all. Maybe that was just to feed my own ego. So maybe that's why I'm not supposed to find it right now. But it is what it is. All right, y'all make sure that y'all like. Make sure that y'all like, subscribe on y'all way out. Yeah, he was 8, 9 years old. He used to be at every single one of our practices, every single one of our games. So it's only right that I return the favor. I feel terrible that I didn't even come to a fight so far. But yeah, man, that's all. That's dope, bro. That's dope. And he said, you mentioning that I'm getting ready to do that for a young cat at the boxing gym. Wow, bro. Wow, yo. Lean into people, man. I guess that's the message that will lead. I didn't really have a closeout message for y'all, but lean into people, man. Lean into people, learn people. Don't get too caught up in all this other craziness. I was just having a conversation with Bez earlier. And I think it's okay to say it. Well, Bez was just asking me how I'm doing. You know, bro talk. You need bros like that. Y'all know how I feel about Bez. And I have these same combos with Skeeg as well. But I was having the convo with Bez, and I'm glad Skeeg. So Skeeg gonna come to the fight. All right, bet. Yeah, Skeeg. Let me not even go. Yo, I'm just so happy to have bros like y'all, man. Like, I got bros that are on this show. Y'all already know how I feel about most of these things that I talk about, but y'all still tap in, still listen to me. Oh, man, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. So he said he going to send me the info and the flyers. Put the link right in the chat if you got the link. Put the link right in the chat so people, when they log on, or if they see this video later, they'll be able to tap in with it. But when you talk about OG and just, that's what Andrew represents, just so y'all know. But I am so blessed to have great bros that that bring me a sense of pure love, and that comes in forms of humility. It comes in forms of a bunch of different forms, different medicine at different times, right? So I'm just very fortunate, yo. I'm just very fortunate, grateful. I love y'all, man, for real. Oh, it's on the zone too. It's on the zone, but yeah, that's just the message that I'll leave y'all with. Matter of fact, we're not even gonna take too much time. It's already 11 o'clock. 45 seconds. Y'all know what we do at the end of every show. Let's take 45 seconds. Keep your eyes open, close them. But just you take the time to just decompress. Excuse me. Decompress, meditate, manifest, get your breath work in, whatever it is that you need. Let's take 45 seconds right now. Ready, go. And just a reminder, it's halftime. Y'all know what we set out in the beginning of the week to make this our greatest week ever. Let's give ourselves some grace. Let's lock in and appreciate where we are and the opportunity that we have moving forward. One last exhale. Exhaling all the negative energy, inhaling all the positive. Y'all heard little bro. He said, hit that like and share. Make sure y'all subscribe. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all know what we're here to do. Elevate on purpose. Raising our standards. Challenging ourselves to raise our standards so we can become the best leaders and so we can accomplish all these amazing goals that we set out to accomplish. All right. Sometimes we call them audacious. Sometimes we'll call them arrogant, but just amazing is probably the best way to describe them. So in order to accomplish those goals that are amazing, we got to make sure that we're growing and developing on a consistent basis. And probably the best way to do that is to surround yourself with people that have the same intentions. All right. Surround yourself. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, grow together. See how I said grow together? It's supposed to be go together, but we will be growing together. All right. So strength and honor, onward and upward. Y'all know what it is. Get to that bag. When I say get into the bag, I mean whatever it is that's going to make sure that you're aligned with the proper trajectory to live in your purposeful abundance, live in your purpose, strive for that personal legend that they talk about in The Alchemist. And yeah, just go for it. Go for it. So the things that are in my bag: peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and in everything we do, integrity. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Have a great one. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I am probably the luckiest person on the planet. I am the luckiest person on the planet because I'm surrounded by people that love me, that will humble me when I need to be humbled, and that have never hesitated to celebrate me, to block for me, literally on the football field, and just show me love and nothing but support. Yeah, no matter what I got going on. So with that, see y'all. Salute. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. See y'all soon. Ew.